This is the Heart to Heart with Statton podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Heart to Heart with Statton podcast. I have a subject that's on my mind today, and honestly, it's got me mad. Now, while I get things set up here, because when I when I start the streaming, I'd like to share the link to the stream on Discord so that the people know that I'm streaming, so more people can see it. So give me a second here while I do that. But anyways, I guess to start off with, I may have mentioned this before in a previous heart to heart video, maybe a video and rather than the podcast. But the one thing that gets under my skin with ease is hypocrisy. I can't stand it. And I don't know if I stand alone on that. That's the problem. Because it seems like with some people, hypocrisy doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal at all. I don't understand that. But it's like, if you're going to hold something against me, you better make absolutely sure you're not guilty of it. And that's not just a me thing, that's with everybody. I think if you're going to hold anything against anybody, you better be sure, absolutely sure, you're not guilty of it. Now, okay, I got that shared. Now, the thing that this carries into many different things, from trivial stuff to religious stuff to even political stuff, but I want to focus more on the political stuff here. Hold on a second. Looking something up. I want to make sure I got the name right. Okay. Here's what's really bothered me now. Now that I got that out of the way. What's really bothered me is the fact that I've tried to be fair when it comes to the podcast. I've tried to be fair when it comes to talking about sharing political beliefs. When it comes to debating things, and I tried to show people, and I've not hidden the fact that I'm a conservative, that I'm a conservative Republican. Now the thing is for some reason people seem to view, not everybody, but a lot of people tend to view us as haters, bigots, racist, all because we don't agree with the far left. And that's just stupid. First of all, I don't know why people think that we have to agree with everything that everybody believes in, that we have to affirm what everybody believes in. It's like, excuse me a second while I readjust my seating here. That sound was not what you probably thought it was. But anyways, the fact of the matter is that it's hypocritical, because the left considers itself the most tolerant, considers itself to be love and tolerance, and yet when they come across thing, hold on a second, when it comes across when it comes to things that they don't agree with. Oh wow, that was fast. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I can speak more fluently or naturally. Now that my attention span is not divided. Now, the fact of the matter is, when it comes to us, they'll say some of the most hateful and vile things. I can't tell you how many videos I have found on social media where people like me are wished death upon. How many TikTok videos will say, if you're a conservative, if you're a Republican, and if you're MAGA or whatnot, you're not going to heaven. Okay, how tolerant of you, I guess. Is that what you call love and tolerance? Because I certainly don't call that love and tolerance. Seriously, that's pathetic, people. And then it's gotten so bad where the left will even try to make political... Well, they'll try to make political issues where politics doesn't belong. Or rather, they'll take something a person has done and they'll blame the entire political party for it. Now, like the voice... if you're familiar with King of the Hill, there's the voice actor for John Redcorn. I looked up his name. I just lost it now. But anyways, they're calling his death a hate crime, which, yeah, I believe it was. I believe it has to do with his sexuality, because it turns out he is gay. Now, do I know that to be a fact? No. I only have to have what little information I have to go on. With that said, I can't tell you how many people on the far left are jumping on this and making videos about saying, this is all Republicans' fault. This is all conservatives' fault. This is all MAGA's fault. It's like, really, people? We didn't all gather together and hunt him and kill him. In fact, I'm mad that he was killed, that he was shot. I don't believe anyone should be shot and killed. By the way, I know this is social media, but as I mentioned before, I'm not going to use the term unalive or anything. But the fact of the matter is, this is wrong. This is messed up here, because a tragedy has happened. Someone's been killed, but the left just can't help themselves but make a political issue about it, saying that it's all the right's fault, that we are all guilty of it. No, we're not. First of all, we're not all homophobic. In fact, I think that word has lost all meaning. Oh, you're a bigot. You know what? Not every time someone disagrees with you makes them a bigot. That word's been thrown around way too often. Way too many times. Hater, thrown around too many times. Racist, too many times. Really, it's... You people need to learn to handle being disagreed with a little better than that. It really bothers me. I find the fact that they have to make a political issue out of this. And the fact of the matter is, even though I myself don't agree with homosexuality, I'll admit that. I don't agree with it. Do I hate it? Do I hate people that embrace homosexuality? No, I don't. And I've gotten so fired up here, I'm like dying left and right in this game. Yes, I've noticed that. But the fact of the matter is, I'm angry. I'm angry because we're all acting like a bunch of overgrown children And it's like, and what makes me extra angry about it, to where I'm trying to string more than a few words together, is the fact that the left are being a bunch of hypocrites here. I tell you right now, I have always allowed people with different political beliefs to come on here and disagree with me. I don't have an issue with it. I don't think they hate me just because they disagree with me. And yet, some of the people will, and I've heard them say things like I mentioned this before, how there was that one girl that mentioned she only wanted to talk to Democrats and liberals and at least independents. She used that term, at least independents. So she excluded Republicans, she excluded conservatives, and at the end she said, "If you are any of those things, move along. We don't need that kind of drama." But the thing is she mentioned how she felt like in the video that Social Security should be protected and everything. And I said, I'm a conservative Republican, and I think Social Security should be protected. I think that caught her off guard. But then I also got friends who will generalize, who have made videos showing such hatred for conservatives, Republicans, and MAGA and everything. It's like, really? Are you serious? And you're supposed to be the tolerant left. Explain to me how that's tolerant. Are you really that blind to your own hypocrisy? Are you serious right now? Don't even know if I'm going the right way right now, because that's how... I should have probably chosen a better game. Which I think I'm going to do, actually, because I'm not getting anywhere here. This was the wrong game for me to pick, subject-wise. For the subject I'm talking about. Because right now, I'm just going to call this one done. I know I shouldn't do that. But the fact of the matter is, I need a video game where I can focus better on this subject. And I imagine a lot that there's no... And my friend, Tinfoil, he wanted to be on here, but since he lives all the way in Poland, what is considered 8 o'clock for me in the evening is early in the morning for him, so he's asleep right now. He wanted me to be careful. He was actually... It's not that he didn't want me to talk about this, but he wanted me to proceed with caution, and you know what? I tried to be cautious here. I tried to show patience and understanding and what the left calls tolerance, but only to sit back and watch the tolerant left bash my party and generalize and treat us all like we're evil. And I've noticed something too. When in the comment section of these videos, not my videos, but the other videos that have to do with all this bullcrap, both sides will go back and forth to each other, but it's like I will often write in the comment section how tolerant of you to the one who leans toward the left, and I notice I don't get a response from them. It's almost like deep down they know, based off of what I said, that they are full of it. They may not realize they're full of it at the time till they're called out on it, but it's almost like they recognize, oh crap, They don't want to admit that the opposing people are right when they get called out on their hypocrisy, but they can't respond to it either. I'm just so sick of them claiming to be tolerant, yet they've said some of the most evil, they have said some of the most evil, some of the most vile and intolerant stuff at our expense. But they are the tolerant ones. Make that make sense, people. Seriously, make that make sense. This is insanity. Of course, Tinfoil said, well, you're not going to be able to convince people. I mean, you're not going to be able to change their minds, which Lil has said similar stuff. But you know what? It's not that I disagree with them. I know I'm not going to change anyone's minds. Doesn't mean I'm going to be silent about it. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't be called out for their bullcrap, because they most certainly should be. Wow, I've caught more fish in such short time. Okay, well, lesson learned here. Fishing angry equals catching more fish. Because yes, I am angry. I'm angry because I've tried my best to show people that we on the right are not the very things that that social media paints us to be. And I'm sitting back not only seeing these videos treat us like we're the intolerant ones, but some of the videos actually come from my friends too. And it made me sit back and think, maybe I've wasted my time here. For that reason, I'm thinking about changing up the podcast a little bit. I thought I'd make it so, hey, everybody has a voice here. And I would be willing to listen. But maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should stand up more for the right, especially considering I do lean toward the right. Because clearly, trying to find a middle ground here has done literally no good whatsoever. It doesn't do any of us good on the right to find a middle ground with the left, because they will just turn around and treat us like we're evil. Thank you, everyone on the left, for your tolerance. Now, do I say everybody on the left is like that? Well, I probably should have thanked everybody on the left, because I'm starting to realize now I'm generalizing. Because here's the thing. There are a few people on the left, I know. We disagree with each other. Now, do they think I'm evil? I hope not. I don't think they're evil or anything just because we disagree. But one thing's for sure is we don't argue to the point where we're at each other's throats. We'll talk about different subjects, and when they disagree with me on something, I just simply ask them, okay, can you give me any source that I can look at? Anything. Videos, links, websites, anything that backs up what you're saying. That's all I ask. And if you do, I'll look it up. And you know what? A tiny few, unfortunately, but a few nonetheless, have actually made good on that. They have presented me with things to look into. Autumn is one of them. The Autumn, the lady I had on in the last podcast episode, she and I don't agree all the time, But we're willing to share information with each other. She has instead of getting mad at me and calling me a bigot, if I say something she doesn't agree with, she'll confront me about it. I'll ask her to give me the source, and you know something? She actually will. She has done that. And Autumn, if you're watching this, just so you know, the last video you sent me, I'm still looking into it. I apologize that it's taking me so long, but that's the case. I mean, I'm still looking into it. I promise you that. I appreciate I appreciate it when people, regardless of what political side you're on, if you can give me facts, if you can give me evidence of anything, I'm more than happy to look into it. And just because I lean right doesn't mean I believe the right is perfect. The right is far from perfect. No one is perfect. We're all human. That means we're all going to do things that are right, but we're also going to all make mistakes. And no, being on the left doesn't make you perfect. Being on the right doesn't make you perfect. Being a Democrat doesn't make you perfect. And being a Republican doesn't make you perfect. But at the same time, I think it should be universally agreed upon that hypocrisy is easily avoidable. And it should be the most irritating thing to you, regardless of who you are. Don't be a hypocrite. That's childish. Am I being harsh? Probably. Do I care? Not at the moment. As I mentioned before, I like to share and be nice and kind and share beliefs as much as possible. But there are times where you're going to see the angry side of me come out, and then, what do you know? It's time for a little tough love with Statton. And that's what you're getting right now. Tough love with Statton. And then the left will say, well, the right is uneducated. Are you kidding me? Some of you people on the left actually believe you can be a toaster by identifying as one. And you're saying we're uneducated? If you identify as a toaster, does that mean I can stick bread in you and you'll crap out toast? It's like, well, it's a social construct. No, it's a kitchen appliance. If you can't fulfill the purpose of a toaster, what good does identifying as a toaster do? And yet, we're the uneducated ones. I thank God that not everybody on the left thinks that way. It's the radical left that thinks that way. But there are people on the left that still have some common sense. Thank God for them. And as I mentioned before in a previous podcast, just as I'm against the radical left, I'm also against the radical right. They are both different, yet at the same time, with their attitudes toward each other, it's their attitudes that make them both the same at the same time. They treat their parties like they're glorified football teams, and that their own party can do no wrong. If you're Republican or conservative, just so you know, that doesn't mean you have to blindly follow the right in all their ways. It is okay to question them. It's okay to disagree with them. And it's okay to say, well, I think they're wrong on these points here. And the same goes for you on the left. If you're a Democrat, if you're a liberal, guess what? That doesn't mean you have to agree with everything on the left. You don't have to agree with everything that's in the Democratic Party. It is okay to say, well, they have a lot of good points, but I don't agree with them on these points. Just because you're registered as a under that party doesn't mean you have to agree with every little thing in that party. It is not a sin. You will not go to jail for it. You will not be put through the death penalty if you question your own party. I question my own party all the time. I could be wrong, but based on what I know, I think even though I'm a registered Republican, I see myself more as a libertarian. Because I think the government has a little too much control over our lives. Now we've gotten to the... I thank all of you for listening. Just to remind you all, this is the Heart to Heart with Statton podcast. And now we've reached the half-hour mark. So now I'm opening the chat to any of the viewers that want to come in and listen. Well, what do you know? I got so carried away with my talking. I need I'll be right back, guys. I just need to get a quick drink here. I don't think all of you want to hear me sipping from my water bottle. Okay, I'm back now. But that shows you how angry I get when it comes to hypocrisy. I don't like it. That's the quickest way to get under my skin. You want to preach tolerance? Well, guess what? You have to be tolerant then. If there's a line to be drawn when it comes to tolerance, then I think as someone who's on the left, you need to make that line known. I already have a line when it comes to tolerance. As someone who's registered on the right, I will admit there are things that I don't tolerate. But the things I don't tolerate, I think even the left would agree with me for not tolerating. Do you want me to list some of the things I don't tolerate? Okay, I'll be more than happy to. I don't tolerate liars. I don't tolerate people who are pedophiles. I do not tolerate those who defend pedophiles. And yes, as sickening as it is, there are people out there that do defend them. You know, something happened a while back that I knew was going to happen down the line. The acceptance agenda was being pushed to the point where I knew ahead of time that eventually the pedophiles would rise up and say that and start pushing for acceptance themselves. Nobody believed me at the time. And of course, at the time I was saying this, it was like 2016, I think. It was either 15 or 16, one of the two. But I said, it's only a matter of time till they start rising up and saying, well, why don't we get accepted? A lot of these other people that were once not accepted are being accepted now. Why not us? It's like, and people are like, no, that's not the same thing. That's not going to happen. And it's happening. In fact, they're seeking to get their names changed. They don't want to be called pedophiles anymore. They want to be called MAPS, which is minor attracted persons. I'm not really sure how that's supposed to make it any better. And no, I'm not going to call them maps. In fact, there are teachers in schools that will actually get after kids for not calling them maps. It's like, you got to respect them. You're saying that a pedophile needs to be respected? Are you kidding me? And what makes it worse is they're no longer hiding. Some of them are actually in the comment sections of these videos, standing up for their beliefs and saying it should be okay. How sad is that, people? I don't care what political party you're in. That should disgust you. And that also proves that 100% tolerance should not be a thing. I don't tolerate racism. I don't tolerate pedophilia. I do not tolerate liars. I do not tolerate hypocrisy. Pretty much, I don't tolerate anything that's immoral. And I don't see anything wrong with that. That goes to show that not all intolerance is bad. But intolerance itself, in a general way, has been painted to be such a bad thing. Oh, you're intolerant. Okay, yeah. But is the intolerance bad? The answer to that question is, it depends on what you are intolerant of. But intolerance as a whole is not a bad thing. There are some things in life that you should not tolerate. And I already listed off those things. Both Democrats and Republicans alike. I'm not saying you have to agree with every single thing I say. But I do think it should be... I'm pretty sure we can come to an agreement that there is a line that is to be drawn when it comes to tolerance. Now, where that line is will differ depending on whether if you lean left or right. I will admit to that. But we can both agree that there's still a line regardless. And if you can't accept that, well then, how can there be 100% tolerance? How can there be 100% tolerance? Okay, so if you are in the far left and you believe in 100% tolerance, then that means not only do you support the LGBTQ and all that, but you also have to tolerate. You also have to tolerate racism, because if you don't, guess what? That's a form of intolerance. You're not tolerant then, according to your logic. If a reincarnated Adolf Hitler ever appeared in this world, hypothetical situation, you could not speak against him because that's intolerance. You cannot speak against the right because you are displaying intolerance, which is very ironic coming from the tolerant left. These are extremes I'm drawing here, but they prove my point all the same, and that is, there is a line to be drawn. There's no, regardless of your political party, regardless of your political beliefs, there cannot be 100% tolerance. Because some of that will actually be contradicting to your beliefs and everything. But at the same time, don't be hypocritical. You speak against hate, then you better knock off the hate speech yourself. You think you want to be accepted, then you have to accept us too. None of this hypocrisy, none of this double standard. You have to agree with everything I say or you're a bigot, but I don't have to agree with everything you say. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of hearing that. I am truly sick and tired of hearing. And you know what? I'm not going to listen to that. It's childish. And if you think I'm a bigot or a hater or a racist just because I said what I said now, that's on you. That's on you. That is your problem. You need to grow up and you need to accept the fact that my beliefs may not completely align with yours. And if so, tolerate it. Honestly, I kind of wish Alderon was here right now. I would love to hear what his thoughts are on on this. It's a very touchy subject. I will admit to that. And I know I'm not going to change anyone's minds. It's sad. If I could change people's minds, I would love to, but at the same time, that would require people to actually listen. That would require people not to think in extremes. That would require people to step outside their comfort zone. Sad part is, people don't like doing those things anymore. They don't. This is brought to you by a new sport I've created called Angry Fishing. Fish while you're angry. Anger is the true bait. See? That proves it. That proves it. So, as for John Redcorn's voice actor, which, by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and look that up because I want to I actually want to mention his name and okay, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Jonathan Joss. I like King of the Hill. I really do. I enjoy that show. For for a cartoon that has adult humor, it is probably one of the most realistic cartoons. I mean, is its humor out there? Yes. But I would definitely recommend it over most of the other shows out there. It's well balanced humor. Now, as far as John Redcorn himself goes, the character that he voice acted, well, I have mixed feelings about him. I mean, clearly he was the other man in the affair Nancy had with Dale Gribble. But do I fault the voice actor for that? No. Do I agree with homosexuality? No. Do I think Jonathan Josh should have been murdered for it? Absolutely not. Do I believe that the one that murdered him should have justice done to him? Absolutely. Legal justice, I mean. I don't mean vigilante justice. Because we gotta obey the law. I don't know if it's true or not, I have to look into it, but I heard rumors that he actually got released after he was arrested, which if so, that's wrong. He should be held accountable and he should be punished for what he did. But for all of you that want to look at that and say things like, well, this is Trump's fault because he made the whole right comfortable enough to do this. No, blame the murderer. Don't blame the political party. Not every individual in a political party is the same. Not everybody in the Democratic Party is the same. Likewise with the Republican Party. I do not care what political party you're in. Murder is wrong. Stop trying to make it a political thing. It's childish. Someone died. Stop turning his tragedy into a political thing. I wish we could just all have these discussions the way Autumn and I had them. Where even when we disagreed, we were on friendly terms. What are her thoughts going to be about me if she sees this podcast episode? I don't know. I hope she understands where I'm going with this. I hope she doesn't interpret my words as hate speech. But sometimes when you love someone, whether it be family, friend, or stranger out there, sometimes you gotta be brutally honest with people, even if that honesty is not what they want to hear, because a true friend will tell you the truth, regardless if you want to hear it or not. They'll express honesty. If someone affirms every single thing that you believe or say, that's not a real friend. That's someone that doesn't care if you walk a path into destruction. A true friend will always be honest. I expect Autumn to be honest with me 100%. She has been honest as far as I can tell. She has been honest, and I believe she has been. And I've been honest with her. I've been honest with every one of you, actually. I'm just saying, because I'm honest, I'm not going to affirm everybody. I'm not going to agree with all of you. That would be me being dishonest. You don't need me to affirm every single thing out there. You're looking for someone to affirm every single thing you say and do. Go find another podcast. There's different podcasts out there. There's different social media videos that'll affirm your exact beliefs. But then again, that would just be you retreating to your echo chambers. And what do you learn from remaining in an echo chamber? Absolutely nothing. Because you're listening to something you're already agreeing with. Your mind is not being stirred up. You're not allowing yourself to think about things differently. To consider, maybe, just maybe, we had it wrong. The fact that I listen to all these videos that attack people like me, both politically and religiously, shows I don't live in an echo chamber. If I lived in an echo chamber, all my videos I would listen to would be conservative videos, and they would be videos that would be not only Christian related when it comes to religion, but they would be specifically primitive Baptist videos, because that's what I am denomination wise. I'm a primitive Baptist. But I watch videos where people attack primitive Baptists for their beliefs, because our beliefs are actually different from the majority of Christianity. I watch videos where the radical left will attack the right. Heck, there was even a woman, I don't know her name because I didn't stick around long enough in the video, but there's a lady who made a TikTok video that said, hey, if someone of a different skin color calls you racist, you don't get to say, no, you're not. When she said that, I scrolled past and I said, yes, I can. Because no, you know how I can say that? Because no one gets to decide for me what my beliefs are and what I am. Giving my voice a chance to rest up here a second. So I would like to use this time to advertise my Discord server called Statton's Mansion. I leave a link to it in the description of all my videos and the description in the podcast as well. And I also leave a link to my Venmo account for optional donations. Donations are not required, but they are appreciated. And the donations make it so I can speak as freely as I can now. Because social media has this issue where you say too many of the wrong things, they restrict you. You say too many of the wrong things that they don't like, they demonetize you. Well, the Venmo account sets me free from all that. That's why I don't speak in social media lingo, where I talk like a little 5-year-old, unalive. And I hope I shake some of you up. Everyone, and there's one final thing I would also like to touch on when it comes to this hypocrisy. And while I think it's painted a little wrong or incorrectly on social media, there's this new thing that people are doing that's called like black fatigue and all that, and they show us all these videos of people just acting obnoxious out in public, and they happen to be black people, and they'll say, well, the black fatigue is real. Except for, I've seen white people act that way too. I don't really think it's a black thing. I don't think it's black fatigue. I think it's victim fatigue, if you want me to be more accurate about it. It's victim fatigue. A lot, not all of us, but a lot of us, way too many of us have this victim mentality. It's being treated like it's a trend. People are not happy unless they're in a situation where they can say, I'm offended, I'm a victim. And that's just wrong. Why do people wear this victim mentality like it's a badge of honor? Why are people so happy to be victims? It's like they act like they're miserable if they're not victims. There used to be a time when people used to know being a victim was a bad thing. It was a tragic thing. But too many people want to be a victim. Hence the victim mentality, which has led to victim fatigue. We're all tired of it. Nobody wants to listen to it anymore. So, we've come down to it. We've covered pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today. My closing thoughts are, if you disagree with me, that's okay. I'm not a victim just because you disagree with me. I don't think you hate me. If you hate me, that's okay. I don't take offense to it. I'm not a victim. The hypocrisy behind it bothers me. But I don't care if what I say bothers you. Because for one thing, I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying it to be honest. I'm saying it in the hopes that you can learn something from this. But if you choose to focus on having hurt feelings over what I said, well, that's more of a you problem. Sometimes you got to listen to harsh words. Because if it's spoken to you gently and you choose to play victim anyways, well, then you need to be spoken to harshly. It happens to us all. Happened to me on quite a few occasions. I've had people speak to me in a harsh manner. I'm not a victim for it. In fact, if anything, I came away from it learning a lot from it. So I thank all of you for listening and for watching this. This has been the Heart to Heart with Statton podcast. My name is Statton. Like, share, and subscribe. And you all have yourselves a wonderful day. And remember, you are not alone.